across the horizon to there is my lucky star tonight, the seventh sister of the Pleiades, walks in beauty like the night, oh, that is best, dark and now lost to me. Only trust in the northern star.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
I'm James Creechbaum with the Paranormal and World Changes News. Declassified at last, Air Force's supersonic flying saucer schematics. Officially, aliens have never existed, but flying saucers very nearly did. The National Archives has recently published never-before-seen schematics and details of a 1950s military venture called Project 1794, which aimed to build a supersonic flying saucer. An emotionally intelligent AI could support astronauts on a trip to Mars. A digital assistant that recognized emotions and responded to astronauts with empathy might vastly improve space missions that take months or years. The idea is that it could anticipate the needs of the crew and intervene if their mental health seems at risk. Ex-Navy Admiral says UFO analysis inconclusive. Well, America's former Chief of Naval Operations stated on Thursday that the unidentified flying objects that appeared to have outperformed Navy fighter pilots on videos recorded in 2004 and 2015 remain a mystery. Well, self-proclaimed time traveler reveals what food people are eating in 2075. I'll warn you now, it looks quite disappointing. The man then held up a small jar filled with small white balls which look a lot like polystyrene, the ones that beanbags are stuffed with. What I can say is that these are individual capsules, and taking just one capsule allowed you to live for an entire day. You take one such capsule per day. A study ghost busting at a leading university. Where to go to get trained in ghost hunting? Well, fortunately, there's a school in Scotland that teaches all about parapsychology, including ESP, psychokinesis, psychic abilities, and more. Can't make it to Scotland? Well, there's even an online course. Strange objects spotted at the galactic core. Scientists have discovered a new type of object that is so weird that it has been assigned a whole new class. At a glance, they appear to be a giant gas clouds 100 times the size of the Earth's orbit around the sun. But as they get near to the black hole, they become strangely elongated. Also in the news, a mystery of the orb that is recorded in Leonardo da Vinci's painting, and it deepens this mystery. Embedded within the painting is a persistent mystery. Now, the orb is held by Christ containing a few painted sparkles that look like inclusions within a solid sphere or crystal. but a solid orb would magnify and invert the image of anything behind it due to refraction of light. And the orb in the painting doesn't do that. Christ's robes appear undistorted behind the glass, and the painting is the Salvator Mundi. Next news break tomorrow night.
Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
That is me. And you know what? I'm still wondering, is the moon hollow? Is there alien bases? And do we have bases on the dark side of the moon? And why would the government deny any of that existence when, you can go onto NASA's website and get some of these images yourself and you can clearly see some of this stuff? I don't know. The government seems to deny everything. I don't know. What do you think, sir?
Well, it's becoming obvious to me that there's something going that we are not told. And if you look at the pictures, then again, of course, we have to question some of the pictures coming out of NASA because they are not always genuine. I have to say that.
I have to say that I really have seen some pictures that have been doctored. They'll come out and then matter of like hours or the next day, that image has been doctored. I've seen that in the past.
Yep. That's what, governments do. That's secrecy and power. There's only two agendas with government. One is power and one is money, and they're not necessarily in that order. So, in order to maintain the power, they have to keep secrecy.
Well, I'm going to get into something. I don't know if you're going to be comfortable. Abductions here on our planet. I bring this up quite often. And James, what is it? Between 50 and 60,000 people go missing in our own country each year that the FBI says, wow, we have no idea what's happening to them. It's not classified as criminal. It's not classified as people being murdered. It's just like people are disappearing, and it's been going on for years. And it's just not our country. It's worldwide. Where are these people going?
Yeah, really. And you're right about the number. And the thing is, you take that times different countries times every year, that's a whole huge body of mass of bodies. Where are they?
Very good question. And, of course, we do have bears in America. So imagine they take a few, and then you have accidents in the wilderness when they, hurt themselves and can't get out. And there is natural things going on too, but I believe the biggest part, it could very well be abductions, or I'm gonna call it two different types of abductions. One of them is by alien races. The extraterrestrials, they have an agenda. Some of them abduct people and bring them back, and everything is okay, or nearly so. But there are others that abduct people also, and they don't bring them back. As well as the dark side of the Black Project that is run through. I almost said the American government, but it's not the government. It's a side. They're totally independent, answering to none. That's the Dark Project. And they abduct children, and they bring them to the moon, to the camps up there where they are basically grow them to become slave laborers. And they are used as, well, there are nations doing that today, actually, here on Earth, as it was 200, 300, 400 years ago. And they are still going on the moon. They are having these mining operations very much run by slaves. And that is the dark project of the government is taking care of getting them up there.
It's possible, or a stepping stone from the moon to Mars or some other place. Again, like Penny Bradley has been on my show. She claims that when she was a little child, like 4 or 5 years old, James, am I right? She was abducted and then, tortured and brainwashed and then put into the secret Space Force after she was totally broke down.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And she was mentioning that there was a place in New York they would go through this place and would send them in time to Mars or wherever they needed to go. And yeah, she was there. She was actually fought in battles. She was some kind of commander of a craft that fought battles and stuff.
Navigator.
Like that.
She was a navigator.
Or navigator. Yeah. Yeah. It was some bizarre stuff. I'll tell you.
Yeah, there's a place out on the tip of Long Island, I guess, where they have a port out there where you can go to Mars, according to some people that has actually done it and so on. So it's difficult to understand unless we start studying quantum mechanics. Then we can understand some of this, because we have never really, average persons have never really looked into what we are. Who are we? And what is the environment around us? What is our universe? And if you allow me to talk a little bit on that, I think we can maybe get a little better understanding.
Well, I don't know. I'm so confused lately because we got people say we're in a matrix. We're not real. We're running in a computer civilization. We're nothing more than on a microchip and all this stuff. So, I mean, there's all these different theories, just bouncing around right now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you though, there is a theoretical physicist named James Gates, and I saw him on YouTube in a video. He said, "I never thought I would get to this point where I can say that I believe I'm in the Matrix." Now, he said that he discovered, and his team discovered, computer code embedded in the equation of supersymmetry that describes fundamental particles like atoms, electrons, protons, muons, bosons, and all the way down to omegas and down to nothing. And we are made of those particles. So if there's computer code in the fabric of space, is that so hard to believe, actually? Because DNA has computer code. And DNA is also made of those electrons and protons and so on. And what this means, since there is computer code, ones and zeros, embedded in the fabric of space, that means that someone or something with consciousness has created this fabric of space we are existing in. You see, James Gates, he found this computer code strings, they're just ones and zeros and concepts representing ones and zeros. It's a special kind of combination of computer code that was discovered back in the 1940s by Claude Shannon, I think the guy's name was. And they find them deep in the string theory as well as in the fabric of space. And that tells me, first of all, it is too symmetrical. It cannot be random. So something or somebody created this fabric of space we are living in. I'm not so concerned about the computer, but I want to see the guy that's running the computer.
So would I have to be honest with you. Wouldn't it be, like I always joke around, I remember a Twilight Zone series, right, where this alien came down to the small little town, a little village in America, rural village, right, and took the whole little town and brought it back to his planet, and then basically put it in a box and gave it to their child. And the child was sitting there watching all these earthlings, trying to figure out what's going on. These people would try to leave the town, but they would come up to like a invisible brick wall, and it was nothing on the other side. And they were getting really scared. They thought, oh, maybe this is a military thing. And then at the end of the show, the mother of the child, and it was a girl, said, hey, stop treating your pets like that.
Oh, wow.
So it just makes me wonder: is our solar system? Are we nothing more than